The Cardinals finish up the regular season with another CCIW championship and a spot in the Division III National Playoffs as the University of Dubuque comes to town in the opening round. Before you head to the game, there's only one place you can catch all the regular season wrap-up, right here on the Red Zone. Welcome to another edition of the Red Zone. I'm Marc Dahlquist. With me is head coach John Thorne. Coach, thanks so much for coming in.
You're welcome. Glad to be here again.
Well, the Cardinals finish off the regular season with a shutout against the North Park Vikings 35-0 and win their second straight outright CCIW championship and sixth in a row. How good did that feel?
Well, I was really happy for the defense, especially because we were trying to get to that third shutout. It was clear back in 1958 since the Cardinals have had three shutouts in the same season. Plus, it's all the way back to like 1996 that anybody's got three in conference play. So that was huge, but we also wanted to get that pick six, and we didn't get it. You know, we got a couple interceptions, but we couldn't quite take it all the way to the house. So that was fun to watch, and then the offense did some really good things. You know, so we're very happy to get that one out of the way. You know, the sixth title, and we're ready to start the run, you know, of playoffs and see what we can do.
Yeah, Connor Douglas in the second half picked one off near the other of team's end zone. I thought he might go the distance there for a little bit.
I know it. You know, and he got Player of the Week this week.
Yep.
So throughout the season, we've had Player of the Week has been won more times by our second team players than it has by any of our first team players.
Wow.
So it's just been sort of unusual the way that this year's worked out.
Well, and this is really one of those games where you can get some of those second guys in to sort of see the depth you have going into the playoffs.
Well, it was a great experience for a lot of guys because we rested some guys on offense and we rested a lot of guys on the defensive side. So that was really important reps for those number two guys to play that many, you know, downs in a Saturday game.
Right.
So we'll see what happens, how soon we'll have to use them in the playoffs and so forth.
Well, the Red Zone was there to see the Cardinals' sixth straight championship. In case you missed it, let's go to the highlight. The sesquicentennial celebration at North Central College is in full swing on Senior Day as the Cardinals get set to take on the North Park University Vikings. Cardinals on their first drive of the game. Tyler Dicken drops back to pass, fakes it to the flat, and goes downfield to Bai Kaba, who makes the catch and makes a few moves to get into the end zone on the 40-yard touchdown catch, and the Cardinals go up quickly 7-0. In the second quarter, it's the Nick Kukoc show for the Cardinals. He takes the handoff and bounces it outside for a 9-yard gain to the Viking 32. 2 plays later, Kukoc gets the call again, and he takes the option pitch from Dicken, finds the seam on the outside, and he'll walk untouched into the end zone to put the Cardinals ahead 14-0. Still in the second quarter, Cardinals on their own 31, but not for long, as again it's Nick Kukoc bouncing it outside. He stays on his feet as Joe Antonacci throws a great block that takes out 2 Viking defenders, and Kukoc takes care of the rest on the 69-yard touchdown scamper that puts the Cardinals ahead 21-0. In the third quarter, the defense taking over as Nathan Lawler can't handle the pitch from Williams, and the pigskin is on the turf until sophomore Connor Douglas picks it up and races 40 yards into the end zone, and the Cardinals give the homecoming crowd something to celebrate, up 35-0. And that would be the final as the Cardinals bring home their 6th straight CCIW championship. Coach, that was the team's 24th consecutive regular season win at Benedetti Worley Stadium. Seems the Cardinals really like to get behind their home crowd.
They do, and it was a huge weekend, 150th celebration for the college. There were all kinds of activities going on, so it really made it a fun atmosphere. North Park played very well. They're getting better every year, so it still made it a nice, exciting game, and not one of those, blowout games that's over in one quarter or something like that. So it was fun thing to have, and we do like playing at home. Our home crowd is a big advantage.
Well, and a lot of alumni were out to see the game, but like you said, North Park didn't really seem to give it up at all. Even in the fourth quarter, they were still trying to put points on the board against you guys.
They really were, and they kept their starters in, and they did a good job of eating up the clock and getting in just enough first down so that we didn't get the ball back.
Right.
I mean, the offense was on the sideline almost the whole second half.
And going into the season, I know you said that you wanted the offense to score about 40 points a game. After Saturday's win, you guys averaged over 43 points in the regular season a game. You've got to be pleased with those numbers.
We are, but we were a little bit under that 40 mark in conference play.
Right.
And we had several chances where we could have, got some of those points. So those are the kind of things we want to polish up for the playoffs. We're not going to have the luxury of getting into the red zone and coming out of it with no points. So we have to get a little bit better on third down conversion and red zone touchdowns. So hopefully that's going to take place, and we need it to start right away on Saturday because this team can score a lot of points.
They sure can. And you mentioned the defense getting its third shutout of the year. And more impressively, you guys only gave up 4 touchdowns in conference. I mean, that's almost unheard of in 7 games, only 4 touchdowns.
It is really good, but the other fact that's kind of even more amazing is we scored as many touchdowns with our own defense.
Yeah.
As we gave up. They had 3 pick sixes and the scoop and score on the fumble return, this last week. So that's pretty unusual stuff. There's 10 categories that we measure on defense that we keep track of for the whole conference,
Right.
And out of those 10 categories, the Cardinals were number 1 in 9 out of 10. And the only one we weren't number 1 in is the one we thought we would be first, which was sacks.
Wow, really?
And we were 3rd in sacks. But if you look at the whole 10-game schedule, then we were first in that one too. So that's just unusual and really amazing numbers. It's hard to do that. And so the boys they really did a great job. They're really understanding the defense. They're totally unselfish. They're excited when their teammates make plays. They work together, and so it's a great thing to watch.
Well, there's no easy way to game plan for the entire Cardinal defense, but most opposing offenses have been keeping their passes away from preseason All-American Josh McLeod, and that's the focus in this week's What's the Word?
And he's a senior leader. I mean, the good thing about having him out on the field, I think, is not just because he's an All-American, but because he's a pure great player. I mean, he knows the offenses. He's always doing studying the entire defenses. And Josh McLeod is just a senior leader.
It's basically him doing his job almost every time. I guess teams saw Redlands are like, wow, let's not go there anymore. It's just because once they see him on film, they know he gets his job done every time. He doesn't make mental mistakes. He's always in the right spots. So he's great.
He's just a great player. He's a great leader, and he's just a great teammate. If he's not making the pick, he's run down the field making blocks for that person. So he's just a great all-around player, even if he doesn't get the ball in his hands or as many tackles as he wants.
I don't care, honestly, if they don't come my way. As long as we're winning, we're stopping every team, getting 3 shutouts in conference, I'm happy. I just want to win in the end in Salem.
Well, Coach, the playoff pairings come out this weekend, and it seems like Josh McLeod and the rest of the secondary may have their hands full this week with the University of Dubuque coming to town.
Well, they have 2 great receivers, and then they also do a good job of getting it to their big tight ends on play-action pass. So that's going to be very challenging for us. Their running back is a transfer from Whitewater, and so he's learned how to run behind zone blocking, and head coach he was at Whitewater for many, many years as the offensive line coach, so he knows how to teach that zone blocking. So they're going to present some problems on that side of the ball, and we're going to have to be ready to play and get some pressure on the quarterback.
Do you think the fact that you guys faced Whitewater last year might help you? Do you think it's going to be similar offenses that you'll face?
Well, it is in some ways very similar. So I'm hoping it does help us a lot, yeah.
Talk about the receiver they got, Michaels Whipple. I mean, he breaks the NCAA record for receptions, not just in Division III, but all divisions. And he leads the nation right now in receptions and yards per game. That's going to be a lot of work for that Cardinal defense. You know, it really is. He's very patient. He is reading the secondary as he's running his route. I do think the quarterback's number one on every single pass is to throw it to him. So they're trying to read the defense together, and then he may come off and throw to somebody else. You know, once in a while when they run some of their bootlegs, it's designed to go right to one of those big tight ends, but almost every pass, they're going to try and throw it to him if you don't cover him. So it's going to be very interesting to see how well we can close those windows and make a lot of those passes really tight, or make him hold the ball a little bit longer so that Willie and Valente can put the pressure off the edge. If he steps up, then you've got, you know, our big guys on the inside. And Peter's had some great games against good throwing quarterbacks when we force them to step up. Right, and it really seems that it's really all 11 guys that need to work together. You got to get that pressure from the front guys in order for the secondary to do their jobs. Absolutely. You know, it's an 11-man team for a reason. If you don't all work together and do your 111, it can break down, and then they can have a heck of a day. It should be fun to watch. Don't go anywhere, because after the break, Coach and I will be joined by a player who is a part of every offensive snap and a linebacker making some noise in his first season as a starter. Keep it right here on the Red Zone.